G'day Facebook friends, Rod Moore here from Profit Results Institute, and welcome to this live stream video. Just want to talk to you about the darkest days I had in business and the decision that I made that completely turned things around. Now, I don't particularly like recounting, the past and some of the challenges of the past, but I think it's an important story because some of you watching this may be able to relate. If you've had a tough year, if things haven't quite gone the way you'd hoped and planned in your business this year, then this story hopefully will give you hope to keep going. It'll give you inspiration to continue to move forward despite the obstacles and challenges that maybe you find in your business right now. So you've got to, I guess, have something to grab a hold of. And so my story, I guess, is probably not that unsimilar to a lot of people who get into small business. So, I'd spent most of my life working in jobs up until the age of mid-30s. I was brought up in a household where I was told to get a traditional education, get a good education, get a good job, work for the same company, do what my grandfather did, which was work for the same company for 45 years, and then he retired, right? So that was the sort of mindset and the thinking that I had been brought up with and conditioned with. And a lot of people who get into service-based business, especially if you're in your 40s, 50s, 60s now, you're brought up with similar type of thinking unless you came from an entrepreneurial family. So that was my mindset. But, I was never suited to having a job. The structure of a job, 9 to 5, being told what to do by someone else. I never felt comfortable being an employee. I was always destined to be a business owner. And so through a series of trial and error and a series of events, I eventually found myself out of a job, starting my own business. And this is about 15 years ago. Now, the problem I had when I got into that business is that I was good at the thing that I was doing in that business, the service I was providing at that time, but I had no clue about how to grow a business, how to make a business work, how to systematize. And the most important thing that I had no clue about was how to get customers and clients, how the sales and marketing. Now, I'd been in sales in my career, so I knew a little bit about sales, but when you start in a business, and a lot of people who are in their own service business can sell what they do because they're quite passionate about it, right? It's just that they have no one to sell to. And that's where I found myself. I could sell the service that I was providing in that business. I just didn't have anyone to sell it to, short of picking up the phone and making cold calls, which didn't excite me at all. I didn't get into my own business to become a cold calling telemarketer, right? So that was a challenge I was faced with. And so I struggled on for, a number of months. And somebody said to me, why don't you go to networking events and try and meet some other business owners that you might be able to sell your service to? Well, that sounded like a good idea. So off I went, right? That was the only real strategy I had at the time. So I started going to networking events and so on. And then I picked up a few clients, but not enough to, to grow the business and to sustain the business. So eventually I hit a bit of a brick wall, and I had bills mounting, office rent and all sorts of bills, as you can imagine. And I had the tax man. I was behind on my taxes and owed money to the tax department. I'm good now, sorted all that out years ago, but that was the reality of me being in business at that time. And then one night, I went to a networking event and hoping to meet good people that I could talk to about my business. And I remember coming home, it was about 10:30 at night, and it was pitch black dark, and a storm rolled in, and it started belting down with rain. It was torrential. That type of rain where you just can't see, 10 meters in front of you. Well, that was the sort of rain that we were having. It was just absolutely pounding down. And then the unthinkable happened, right? And this is why I call it my darkest day in business, or darkest night. The unthinkable happened. I ran out of petrol, and I managed to pull the car off to the side of the road, but I'd run out of petrol. And at that point, I was about 2 kilometers away from where I lived, maybe 1.8, but roughly 2 kilometers away from where I was living at the time. And I naturally, instinctively put my hand on my wallet, thinking, I could find a service station around here and get some petrol. But as I put my hand on my wallet, I had that sinking feeling that, I just knew I had no money. I had no money in my bank accounts. I'd maxed out 2 credit cards, and it was, there was no money. I was at the end of the money, basically. So I opened up the ashtray looking for change in the ashtray, but didn't find it there either. So I made the decision to get out of the car, lock it, and walk home. So as soon as I got out of the car, of course, I was drenched. in torrential rain. I thought, well, it doesn't get any worse than this, right? And I was pretty low at that time, as you can imagine. My wife called. She was in London at the time. She's English and she was back home at the time. She called me and I answered the mobile phone, and the sound of her voice, I was just, this tidal wave of emotion overcame me and I started crying and, yada, yada. I'm sure we've all had an experience like that where the emotion just got too much for us. So I hung up the phone from her and I continued to walk home to where we're living. And halfway home, I was thinking about my situation and circumstances. And at first I thought, why me? Why are you doing this to me, right? And then I thought, no, Rod, you've created this, right? So you can create something different. This is all you're doing. You chose to get into business and to not learn the skills that you needed, right? So it's all you're doing. You need to take personal responsibility and you can choose a different path. And then, as I was thinking these thoughts, this booming voice filled my mind, right? It was like Tony Robbins was in my head. And basically the voice said, you've got to make a decision right now to get the help that you need and to learn the skills that are most important in your business. And to just make an absolute commitment, right, to getting those skills and getting that help and implementing that into your business and keep going, keep going in your business. Now, as that voice came through my mind, I didn't actually know what those skills were at that time. I had to think about it, what skills would be most important in my business right now. But I made a commitment to myself. I decided there and then that I was going to, get the help I needed and to find out what's the most important skills to the success of my business, learn them and implement them and master them in my business. So that's what I did. So a short time later, so I won't give you the entire story, right? But a short time later, I got involved in a business which was a nutritional supplements business, and I was responsible for growing that business from 0 to 1.4 million in 18 months. What was the difference, right? Well, I'd made the decision, I'd got the help, and I'd learnt the most important skill. And that most important skill that I discovered was marketing, how to attract the market to you, how to systematize your marketing. Because what I was doing was running around the networking events, trying to find clients, doing coffee meetings with the people I'd met, collecting business cards, calling them up, trying to convince them to use my service, right? Trying to convince people who probably didn't even need my service. That's what I was doing. And I observed that so many other small business owners were doing exactly the same thing. No wonder they're struggling, right? So the most important skill that I found was the skill of attracting the target market to you, attracting your ideal client and becoming magnetic to them and having systems in place that led that target market step by step by step to the point where they decided, this guy makes sense and the only logical point of conclusion is to want to work with me, right? So that's what I implemented, and that's what enabled me to grow that particular business to 1.4 million revenue in 18 months. And we had distribution into 23 countries because of those marketing systems that I implemented at that time. So as a result of that, people's, other small business owners started coming to me. Can you help me with my marketing? Can you show me what you've done? Can you help me set up attraction marketing into my business? And one thing led to another, which is why I now have Profit Results Institute and the Clients Academy. And, we teach small business owners how to do what I did then, right? And ever since I've had that skill of marketing and putting myself into a position of attraction, everything's changed for me. So my message to you, and the reason why I shared this story with you is, if you're having struggles right now, if it hasn't been a good year for you, if you're struggling with cash flow and bills and taxman and you're wondering whether to go on or not, the thing I want to draw your attention to is that there's one key skill which rises above all others in business, and that is the ability to be able to get a client. If you can't get a client, doesn't matter how good you are at the service, the thing that you do, it doesn't matter how good you are in business, and all the other aspects of business become irrelevant if you don't know how to get clients, how to attract them, if you don't have a marketing system that does that for you. Every business that's failed has usually failed not because they've had an abundance of clients and cash flow, but because they've had a lack of cash flow, a lack of clients, a lack of new opportunities being attracted to them. Doesn't have to be that way, but that's the problem. So if you want to be in small business, you have to accept the fact, that sales and marketing are the number one priority in your business. right? If you're a business owner, you own a sales and marketing business, right? Not a delivery of the service. Even though it's important that you deliver the service and you provide customer value and a good customer experience, something that I got wrong in previous businesses, right? I focused too much on sales and marketing and didn't focus enough on delivery and service quality and so on. And so I've corrected that. You learn your lessons and you evolve and you develop. But the number one priority in your business, if things aren't going well right now, has to be sales and marketing. Now, the sales happen naturally if you've got the right marketing system in place. And I talk often about using a system that enables your prospects to pre-sell themselves on wanting to work with you, right? If you get your marketing right, they'll go through a series of steps where they basically sell themselves on wanting to work with you. So the selling part of it becomes natural and easy for most of us, especially if we're passionate about what we do. So it's the marketing, having the right marketing systems. It's the number one skill you must have in your business right now if you want to thrive and prosper into the future. If you've been struggling, the reason is I guarantee you that you don't have an effective sales and marketing system. I guarantee you that if you are struggling in your business right now, you are not getting on a daily, weekly, and monthly basis a steady stream of new leads into your marketing funnel. If you don't have leads, you've got no one to convert into customers and clients. So maybe you're getting leads, but you're not converting them. That happens very rarely. You know, I've coached hundreds of small business owners over the last decade or so, and invariably the problem is not their conversion so much as it is their ability to be able to attract qualified, quality leads from their ideal target market to them. That's the number one issue that most small business owners have, right? It can be easily fixed when you get a new knowledge, new skills, and you implement things with the help of someone like me to guide you through the process and to keep you on track and help you make the right adjustments and tweaks and so on. You're going to need to get your marketing system working. So, you know, there was a survey done recently by Flying Solo. They surveyed, you know, a few thousand of their members and asked them, what is the number one challenge that you have in your business right now? Now, these are all service-based businesses for the most part. 48% of them said their number one problem is finding new clients, right? So if this message has resonated with you, if you can relate to my story of just completely running out of money and having no clue about what to do next and just feeling down and in despair and, you know, and just overwhelmed with emotion and fear and uncertainty about the future, if that's you right now, you just got to take heart. There is hope. Don't give up just yet, but make the decision to get the knowledge you need around the most important component of your business, which is your ability to attract new clients to you. If you get that right, you can take care of everything else because you have cash flow, right? You can buy people to do admin. You can buy people to deliver the service, right? There's so many options that open up to you when you've got the ability to attract clients to you and you've got a steady cash flow. That's what you need to focus on right now if you're struggling in your business. That's what I did. That led me to that new level of knowledge and upgrading my thinking, you know, really expanding my thinking to accept the fact that marketing is so important to our business. That new level of knowledge took me from $0 to $1.4 million in revenue in a business in 18 months, right? Shortly after I made that decision and got the knowledge and the help that I needed. You could do something similar in your business. Now, I can't make any income claims. I don't know you know, but I can guarantee you that effective marketing and the ability to be able to attract clients is going to make a positive difference in your business right now. If you want to chat further about it, then what I'd recommend is that you watch one of our videos where I go into these concepts a little bit more in detail. I'll put the link under or above this video. Click on that, go and watch the video and read the report that I've provided for you called Client Magnetism, How to Become Magnetic to Your Target Market. Watch the video, read the report, and at the end of that, you have the opportunity to request a 30-minute strategy session with me, and I'll talk to you about what you're currently doing, what adjustments you need to make in what you're currently doing to get better results, and I'll give you some ideas on how you can stand out and become magnetic in your marketplace. So anyway, I hope this has been of value for you. Leave a comment below, like the video, like our page, connect with what we're doing, because we're on a mission to help service-based business owners to enjoy more prosperity out of their business, and I want to help you if I can. Cheers for now.